5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the fuck he was.
I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious.
And, you know, actual fighters, some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing, what he's created. This is a little crazy. Yeah, this is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small.
He would potentially kill you if you got on the ring with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be very surprised if Jake's not favored on the sports betting on sports. Like all you guys saying and all this shit. Do you guys understand that it's all about weight and shit? Like, all right. I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious, right? It's very, very, very obvious.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis often faces criticism, not for what he does inside the ropes, but for what he struggles to do outside of them. Many analysts argue that Davis hasn't shown the same ability to promote his fights, even within his own weight class. Meanwhile, Jake Paul and his brother Logan have perfected the art of hype, turning every appearance into a spectacle and moving millions of pay-per-views with their charisma and entertainment-driven approach. That's exactly why Jake's involvement makes this matchup resonate on a global scale. Critics insist that Tank's brand alone isn't strong enough to carry an event of this magnitude without Jake's promotional firepower.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum.
Shakur Stevenson, widely regarded as one of the most technically skilled boxers today, didn't hold back in his criticism of Gervonta "Tank" Davis for accepting this fight. In Stevenson's eyes, it disrespects the sport for Tank to step in with Jake Paul instead of facing the top contenders in his own division. Shakur pointed out that Davis had better options, most notably a showdown with him, a fight that could have solidified Tank's place as the #1 lightweight. Instead, Stevenson views this as nothing more than a money-driven spectacle against a celebrity fighter. His frustration mirrors the concerns of boxing purists who long for true championship clashes rather than crossover attractions.
Got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Analyst Oladipo offered a different perspective, stressing that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are still in their prime years. From his standpoint, this matchup feels out of place right now. He explained that when Floyd Mayweather fought Logan Paul, it was after their peak, which made sense as an entertainment-driven exhibition. In contrast, Oladipo believes fights ahead of them. To him, this showdown would have made more sense later in their careers, after their best competitive years had passed.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that include Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered number 1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, done, right? Floyd versus Conor, did he have one more after, or was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end. It was done right at the end, even if it wasn't, right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. Guessing he walks around about 155. Like, what? Like, Jake Paul, I've been around him. I'm 5'11", I'd say he's 6'1". Gervonta, I've been around him, I'd say he's 5'4", 5'5", max. You know, a lot of these guys wear those big heels.
Paulie grew animated when the subject of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis came up, clashing with Chris Algieri as he voiced his frustration. He argued that knockouts only carry real weight when earned against elite opponents, not in carefully managed setups. To make his point, he cited legends like Felix Trinidad and Mike Tyson, who showcased their power against the very best. In Paulie's view, Tank has sidestepped top names for years despite being in divisions loaded with talent. He felt that comparing this spectacle to Tyson's era was disrespectful and dismissed the fight outright as nothing more than a money grab.
Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture.
You can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree. I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist, if he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way we did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know? The way they did even when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
But by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No, because he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this.
With the expense of
Witherspoon, that were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who had contract.
You can say the same thing about
who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No. When you're going to fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you could say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about Trinidad. Trinidad is a bona fide superstar. And the way that he was, and like you said, he
stepped him up and he knocked out.
And he was a knockout punches. No, of course.
Analysts view Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis as more of a spectacle than a true boxing contest. They point out that Jake isn't championship caliber, so chasing titles has never really made sense for him. Instead, a matchup like this generates massive buzz purely for its entertainment value. With Netflix backing the broadcast, the fight is guaranteed to attract a huge audience no matter the result. Many believe Tank will dominate easily since Jake cannot match his speed or skill. But the bout still appeals to fans because of its unusual nature. In the end, it's less about legacy and more about attention and spectacle.
Like, I think he's tactfully, as I said, I think he's tactfully saying like, oh, Even if he's promoting it the other way, I've been very consistent on my Jake Paul thoughts. I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is,
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
Stephen Fulton, a respected American boxer, stepped in to defend Davis amid the growing criticism. Many fans and analysts have accused Tank of chasing easy money instead of chasing legacy. But Fulton urged people to look at it differently. He reminded everyone that fighters deserve life-changing paydays, especially with how short and brutal a boxing career can be. While fans love to argue about legacy, Fulton stressed that fighters have families and futures to protect. From his point of view, there's nothing wrong with Davis taking a big-money fight, even if it frustrates hardcore fans who wanted to see him against elite contenders.
Anybody in that position would have taken that fight, especially with the payout. It's like, that's a no-brainer, but I understand. I still feel for Lamont. That's my boy. Like, he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Because I mean, I don't know. I would have done it. Far as the money aspect, because none of us would deny that money. They talking like they would. None of them would deny.
Eddie Chambers delivered a firm warning against underestimating Gervonta Davis. Chambers stressed that Tank's skill and danger level far outweigh the difference in stature. He argued that anyone stepping into the ring with Davis, unless they are a true monster, will find themselves in serious trouble. In his view, Tank's sharp timing, blistering speed, and knockout power make him one of the toughest pound-for-pound fighters to handle. His remarks underline the split in opinion. Some argue Jake's size could play a role, but others believe Davis's elite skill set ensures he holds the upper hand.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media, this is what is created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from it. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else, bite him. I don't know, but I mean, the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference, and all that, but he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. It's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. And the punch, I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out but he's going to feel it.
Several analysts argue that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis may actually outshine traditional boxing matchups like Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford when it comes to global attention. Their reasoning is clear. Jake Paul isn't just a boxer. He's also an entertainer with a massive reach that stretches far beyond the sport. Unlike most fighters who mainly draw hardcore fans, Jake pulls in millions of casual viewers by tapping into mainstream culture. That crossover appeal transforms the event into more than just a fight. And while purists may roll their eyes, experts insist the numbers will prove that Jake versus Tank will dominate headlines worldwide.
2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout, who's a far bigger star in the sport of boxing than Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Canelo's not a bigger global star than Jake Paul because Jake Paul is an entertainer outside the sport of boxing. That's why. So now you have people telling you that Jake Paul and Tank Davis is a circus fight. Okay? It's a commercial circus fight on top of that. Jake Paul fights at cruiserweight and heavyweight. 200 plus pound, 200 minimum. Okay, his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., former world champion, the son of a legend, he weighed in at 199 pounds. He fought Iron Mike Tyson at 224 pounds. Okay? Tank Davis fights at 135 pounds. You have the storyline of David and Goliath that's going to push the entertainment part. Okay? That's going to get people to draw interest in the fight. Why? Because you have the whole David and Goliath situation going on. So again, that attracts people. Okay? So it's a sideshow. But even the sideshow, yes, it's going to be on Netflix. Yes, it's going to be a big event on Netflix. But guess what? They are fighting at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. That holds max for concerts, 21,000 people. Canelo and Terrence Crawford, September 13th, this Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada, at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. They just added seats and they're expecting 72,000 people in attendance.
Everybody knows Tank about it. What you think?
That's all it is, man. But it's good. Good for him. I'm happy for him, you know. Everybody wants to do that, man. If you can go rob the bank and not get in trouble, why not, man? Why not?